But I definitely understand it being hard because I'd stayed in situations much longer than I had to because I had children in those situations. So I understand the struggle of that. Definitely. But there's that saying, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's when you'll make a change. And that's very true. So it's just all about whenever you have the courage to do that. So everyone else is noisy in the background. I don't know how much you guys can hear, but there's so many of us that this is like that. So if you hear stuff in the background, just act like you don't. I showed my baby sister video about dating. If you guys can hear my daughter, she's upstairs with my husband being cranky. So I just don't know how he was able to get away with it and so sneaky. Because with my own trauma, I watch my kids like a hawk.
By now, I'm sure you've heard of new trophy wife. She recently went viral over a tragic story that broke the internet. If you haven't checked out my take of it already, be sure to catch the first video. But to give you guys just a recap of what's happened up to this point, she is a femininity coach that specializes in teaching young women how to secure wealthy, high-value, rich men. She attributes a lot of her training to She Raw 7 and is all about promoting the rich, hypergamous, soft life for women who ultimately want to live a luxurious life. And so that is her brand. That is what she's been promoting. Now, controversy ensued when she came on the internet a few days ago and admitted that her husband allegedly has mistreated and inappropriately touched her young two daughters. Since then, she said she's moved away for the last few weeks and is now trying to figure out ultimately what to do, because not only has she built a brand off of teaching women how to find high value hypergamous men, but she also needs to figure out now what this means for the rest of her life and her family. A few things that I have noticed about your guys' feedback and ultimately why a lot of people just are not believing the ladies anymore when it comes to these allegations. Now, as people have been doing a lot of research, they found some things that seem inconsistent, everything from lives where you see her kids in the background crying or saying things like, ouch, from some of the videos where she admitted that she got married to this man less than a week, and even more specifically, ended up moving in with this man and marrying him simply because she needed a place to stay.
Hey, how are you doing? And I told him, I just got out of a relationship, and I kind of told him a little bit about why my lease was going to be ending very soon, which is why I went ahead and moved in with my person that had became my ex. We started living together, and I told my husband, I was like, hey, it was so embarrassing to admit. I was like, I need a place to stay because my lease is ending and I just broke up with my boyfriend, and like, even if it's just like for a couple weeks, it's okay. Just while I look for, somewhere else, because I had planned on needing to find somewhere else. And he was saying, well, if you're going to live with me, it's going to be as my wife, not as my girlfriend. And I was like, well, how spontaneous are you? And he laughed and he said, very spontaneous. So then I was like, right. So we started entertaining the idea of getting married, like immediately.
Everything from her mentioning that she was basically raped early on into the marriage. Also, the fact that she mentioned that even when they were supposedly engaged, he had an online dating profile that was still active.
And we were talking about getting married like the next week, and he was out of town in Colorado, so we hadn't seen each other. This is all talk or whatever FaceTime. But I would have got his ring, and the next time we talked on FaceTime, I was like, I did something. And he was like, what did you do? I was like, I got your wedding ring. Like the next day, I went. Somebody told me to go online and check my eHarmony profile. So I went on there and I saw he updated his picture, and I was like, oh no, this dude is playing around. Like, I'm glad I didn't spend a whole bunch of money on this ring. Like, he was just playing. And I screenshotted it and sent him a picture, and I said, it doesn't seem like we're on the same page. So yeah, I'm done with this. And he texted me. He was like, or I think he tried to call me and I didn't answer. And he texted me and he was like, no, I'm serious. I am going to marry you, in caps. And I think that evening, he like ended up going and buying my ring.
So there are all these things that are being said in the story where people are saying, hey, this doesn't really add up. Are you telling the truth, or are you withholding some information that actually might give more context? While essay is a really sensitive topic, unfortunately, people have the right to be skeptical about any of these strong, harsh claims. And here's why. There are many people out there who are skeptical of this entire situation, not necessarily because they want to victim blame, but because there is a long-term history of women going online or going in different spaces and lying about men for their own personal interest. There is a documented history of this happening specifically to Black men being targeted and falsely accused for things they did not do. Here is a prime example.
Let me introduce you to Dean. I don't believe y'all have met before. We have a seat right here.
I'm sorry that you lost.
You.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just wanted to tell the truth. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I hate you had to go through something like that. I hate now that you have children, that your kids have to go through something like that. And I hope and pray each day that you can get closure. And this day, I accept your apologies.
And again, just remember, not too long ago, we had the whole brick lady situation who put Black men all on blast and was saying they did all kind of different things. Come to find out, it was all a scam, and she did it just to make money. We live in a society that is so quick to jump to negative conclusions about what a Black man does. And because we have found multiple people in multiple situations where some of these people make these claims, make these allegations, and it's a lie, now you have people who are basically feeling like, is this another situation where it's a boy crying wolf? Is this another situation where somebody is just, using an old storybook method to try to basically using Black men as the prop to try to get some money, because there is unfortunately a documented history of that. And so I completely understand why there's people out there who are going to be skeptical, who are going to want to ask questions, who are going to want to make sure that resources are validated. And quite frankly, that is what needs to be done. I mentioned that in my first video, that there are a lot of things that are still unclear, and there are a lot of things that have yet to be verified. And so we need to be really mindful to be on the lookout for the story. But you guys are right to be skeptical and to want to understand that that people are moving with truth and not narrative. And so, we really don't want to victim blame, but at the same time, we also have to understand how many men, unfortunately, have been victimized, Black men primarily, when it comes to false allegations, things that actually end up putting them behind bars and ruining their life. And so, there there really is no ideal scenario in this case. It would be, if she's telling the truth, it's a horrible situation, because this means that now there's these young kids that have to deal with all of the trauma associated with that. If she's lying, that's still horrible, because now you created this whole story about your kids that's actually really sick and traumatizing. But I think more importantly, it's really important to understand with these kind of viral situations and with these kind of stories, the different stakes that are at hand. And so, yes, before we go and try to point fingers, I think it's important to look at the facts, understand what's going on, understand that this is a sensitive topic, but also try to move as much as possible with logic, with proof, so that nobody who was innocent is being misappropriately treated. And yes, because it's these kind of scenarios that have happened, even in the Black community, you do have men taking a step back and being like, I'm not going to believe all women, and I'm not even going to believe all Black women, because y'all have done the same thing to us. And so there's that tinge in the air. And this is why you are seeing some people, men and women, rightfully so, be skeptical. But anyways, guys, what do you think? Do you agree or disagree? What do you think is the best way to handle these kind of situations? Are you guys aware of other information that I have missed? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. I'm really excited to announce my new kids book, Aisha Learns to Love Her Hair. Aisha's hair is stunning, but she struggles to see its beauty. Through encouragement and wisdom from Grandma Lily, Aisha learns powerful lessons about self-acceptance. Aisha's journey is a heartwarming tale of family, culture, and confidence. Share her magical journey with your little loved one today, available for purchase.